You suppose I could have a small drink there? Talking is awful thirsty work.
Of course you can.
Especially when you ain't used to it, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. You know, when Mr. Ewing here come to see me yesterday, why, he started me thinking about a lot of things I thought I'd long forgotten.
Like what, Mr. Brindle?
Oh, the Ewing boys and Digger. You know, Digger was a real good friend of mine. Oh, yeah, we did a lot of drinking and playing together. Yes, sir. But he always knew how to smell out well the oil was, that Digger did.
Would you care for a little bit more?
Yeah, I wouldn't refuse that. Thank you. Do you? Oh, yeah, and the fights them three had. Whew, I tell you.
You mean the Ewing brothers against my daddy?
Well, now, that's the way most people would have thought it was, but it just wasn't so. Digger and Jason, they was the ones doing most of the fighting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, many's the time Jock had to come between them, because Jason really hated Digger, you know. He was all the time trying to get Jock to get rid of him, that they didn't need him, that he was just a drunk, which he mostly was, but Jock wouldn't hear of it. No, sir.
Tell him what you mean, Mr. Brindle.
Well, I mean, Jock took care of Digger. I mean, he kept him on the payroll even when he was off doing his drinking, and he kept Jason from doing him any real damage, too. Begging your pardon, Miss Jamie, and I hate to say it, but your daddy was a black-hearted man. But he and Jock were all the time going at each other over Digger, and I got to tell you that Mr. Jock Ewing was near a saint putting up with the two of them.
What Mr. Brindle was saying is my daddy protected Digger. He put up with his drinking. Any money he had, he was given by my daddy.
That's about it. Digger was a weak man, but Jock cared for him. Why, you'd have thought Digger was his brother, not Jason.
Well, Barnes, you still want to try and get your hands on Ewing Oil?
This old man's rambling doesn't mean anything legally.
Really? Well, what if he were to testify in court? Then Dallas and the whole world would know the truth about the Barnes-Ewing relationship. All that talk, all those years about my daddy stealing from Digger. And the whole time he was trying to protect him. Well, you just go ahead with your little lawsuit. Maybe it's time the truth comes out. But I'll tell you something. If I had a daddy like Digger Barnes, I'd do just about anything to keep the whole world from knowing the truth about him. You do what you want. Well, I think that's all, gentlemen.
Another thing you reminded me of, Mr. Ewing, like I said, Digger and me was real good friends. Well, along about that time when Digger and Jock had their big falling out, well, Digger give this to me. I guess he was afraid of getting drunk and losing it or something. Anyways, we parted paths long about then, and the only times we saw each other after that, well, we'd start drinking and clean forget that we even had it. Heck, I didn't even know Digger's boy was alive until yesterday, so I dug this out. Don't rightly even know what's in it, but I guess it belongs to you now, son.
Look at this. This must be Digger's copy splitting Ewing Oil in thirds. It proves that document's real.
Does that there say that Jock gave Digger 1/3 of Ewing Oil?
It sure does.
I'll be doggone. I guess he really done it.
What do you mean?
Well, Jock was always saying he was afraid something might happen to him and that Jason would take over, so I guess he did that so that nobody could cheat Digger out of his third.
Would you swear to that in court?
Of course I would.
Thank you, Mr. Brindle. J.R., I want to thank you for finding him. You've just made our case. Now I'm sure that Jamie and I are going to take Ewing Oil away from you.